it's time you left. In other words, change the system. The one thing that's not even being talked about right now again. You don't hear a lot of people still talking about the stand your ground law. That's how some of this evolved. See, all kind of little hints are thrown out every now and then, as to say, little laws are made, obscure laws and whatnot, that indirectly are saying, do what you want to against these non-white people throughout the world. See, they just put a little law here and a little law there, a little rule here, a little regulation there, a little general practice here, a little general practice there. Sometimes, some years ago, I asked a person, what is the difference between a rule and a law? And I didn't get a direct answer. The person said, well, a rule is kind of like, I said, can you be punished for disobeying a rule? He said, sure. Well, can you be punished for disobeying a law? He said, absolutely. I said, well, then what's the difference between a rule and a law? Why not just say law and forget about this rules, regulations, guidelines, general practices, and all these other different terms you have out here, or somebody has out here, as terms that are supposed to be equal to the word law. Why not just say L-A-W, law, not guidelines, not rules, not regulations, not general practices? That's too loose. And so people will get the idea that a rule is different from a law. But what you're telling me, sir, the gentleman I was talking to, who was the person who was involved in law, is that a rule and a law are one and the same. Then why not say law? And forget about rule. Sometimes they even say rule of law. I mean, and that's compounded. Just say this is the law. This is not a rule. This is not a guideline. And that codified response should be just like what Gandhi said, and I'm reinterpreting it and fast-forwarding it and applying really what he said about it's time you left, which means it's time for the British to get out of India. That's what he meant. All right? Period. Pack your bags. Get out of here. All of you. Not just Dyer. Put him in jail, and then everybody go back and say, well, justice was done. No. All your men, women, children, get right back where you came from. You got no business here. That's what he was telling them. Okay, so what we say is not for anybody to pack their bags and go anywhere. What I'm suggesting in a codified, counter-racist, logical manner, I hope, is it's time you agree to make replacing white supremacy with justice the main priority of all of the people of the planet.
Okay.
And that should be coming out of every person's mouth every day. We got to figure out a way to replace this system that we have set up called racism with a system of justice. That should be our reason.